Boys and girls, today we're going to talk about another country. This time it's Switzerland. Now I went to the library, but they wouldn't let me in. So I had to find books online and then they would bring them out to me. Well, they didn't have all the books that I really wanted, but we're going to make do with what they gave me. So our country is Switzerland. Now, this is the shape of Switzerland. And it's kind of jaggedy. And the reason for that is because it's made of a lot of mountains. And over here is Italy. And Italy, remember, is shaped like this. Up here is Germany. Remember, Germany is where Martin Luther was. And over here is France. France is a big country. It goes way over here. Switzerland is kind of small compared to the other ones, but they have some very famous things about Switzerland that I would like you to know. One, see where my finger is going? Right here is a mountain range called the Alps. We talked about that when we talked about Italy, because there are also Alps going into Italy, but the Alps are very famous because of this. This is a picture of some of the mountains in the Alps. They're very tall, and one of the very most famous mountains of all is called the Matterhorn. Now, the Matterhorn has many people climbing it every year, and it's also had a lot of accidents. But this book doesn't have a good picture of the Matterhorn. So I'm going to go through a couple of the pictures in this book. Now, as we've talked about with other countries, every country has their own special kind of bread. And this little girl is holding a basket of bread that she's selling fresh in the marketplace. Now, this book is about festivals. So a lot of these pictures are festival clothes. Now this one looks kind of funny because they're dressed like trees. And the reason why they're dressed like trees is because it's celebrating the new year. And so they all dress up like trees and they go from house to house showing the people their costumes. Kind of funny. Now, yodeling. This is a parade with a bunch of yodelers. They are demonstrating their ability to yodel. Now, yodeling, they would call from one mountain to the other mountain, and they go yodeling, and they could hear that sound clear across the valley. Now, that was not a very good yodel because I don't know how to do it very well. But these guys were the experts and they won the prize for yodeling. Now, they have a lot of, when they have a celebration, they have a parade. And so these guys are playing their instruments. These are piccolos, and it makes a very high noise. And a piccolo is only about this big. It looks like a flute, but it's tinier. And they're wearing these big masks and playing their piccolo as they parade through their streets. Let's see the next holiday. Oh, and they end, this is kind of neat, they end the celebration with a lantern celebration, and they have a fire inside those paper things, and they lit them, and exactly at 4 o'clock in the morning they blow out the lanterns and the celebration's over. It's kind of amazing at their different celebrations. Okay, now this one, you can see their native costumes. Now what colors do you see? Red, black, and white. Those are the colors for their festival clothes. And they're wearing, see the girls let's see, the girls have on an apron over their dress. Boys are usually wearing white shirts, black pants, and a string tie. Did you see the string tie on them? This is the parade on the Sunday before Sexwochten. Kind of funny word. But it's honoring children. This is a children's holiday. And they all dress up in their costumes. Now this one is the burning of the Bog. And it is like a snowman. And they stuff it. This is called an effigy. And an effigy is something to symbolize something. So this snowman, and they light it on fire, and there's fireworks inside, and that is to symbolize the end of winter and the beginning of spring. So it's the burning of the Bog. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, but it sounds kind of funny. Oh, this is another one. When I was in Switzerland, I saw these instruments called alpenhorns. And an alpenhorn is 30 feet long. Now you might want to measure that at home to find out what is 30 feet. And this horn, you see it has to rest on the ground, and they blow into it kind of like a trumpet or a tuba or something like that, and it makes this very low noise. And that they used this originally to signal the farmer on the other side of the mountain or the valley. They would signal each other, "We're okay over here. How are you doing?" And then it became kind of like a sport to see who could play their alpenhorn the best. Now on this page, I don't know if you saw this one. This is the cow is wearing a decoration on his head. They put it like a Christmas tree decorated in flowers, and this huge, huge cowbell. Now you know the ones we have in our classroom over by the windows, they're not nearly this big. I mean, this thing is about that big. The poor cow has to wear that around her neck. But this is another festival to celebrate the end of winter. Here, this is kind of funny. It says that they have cow fighting. It's not like bullfighting because the cows don't hurt each other. And they fight each other, and they only fight if they feel like it. So the people bring their cows and they kind of lock horns and push each other around, but they don't hurt each other, which I like because I don't like bullfighting. Okay. That's all for this book. Now this book, very old book. It was written quite a long time ago, but I flagged just a few pages. And this is one of the things that Switzerland is known for, is making watches. And look how these factory people are, their table is very high, so they don't have to bend over, but they're looking very closely at what they are making. They're making those watch parts. It's not done by a machine, it's done by humans, all busy, and they have a little eyeglass thing that they look through to see the teeny tiny parts inside the clock, and they put those together. And this one, you can't see this one very well, but she is putting one drop of oil on that watch part to make it work better. Okay, here is a picture of the Matterhorn. Okay, so you see this is the Matterhorn, and it is uh, quite a ways away from these people who are enjoying an outdoor lunch. But so this Matterhorn is huge. It's 14,000 some feet high. It's not the highest mountain in Switzerland, but it's the most distinctive. You see that triangle shape. And if we were here, I would love to have you taste a candy called Toblerone. But it's shaped like a triangle. It kind of reminds you of the shape of that Matterhorn. And I also read where it's made in little pieces like this, and you break off one piece at a time, and each little triangle is one serving. So if you eat the whole candy bar, you're eating about 9 pieces of candy, and that's probably 8 too many. But Toblerone is a Swiss candy. Okay. Now, this is one of their favorite winter sports. Can you see what they're doing? They are skiing. And they're making these beautiful zigzaggy lines down the mountain as they're skiing. And this one, Switzerland is known for their famous foods. And this is a culinary school. And they're teaching these people how to cook and how to make the recipes. So she's looking very carefully into the pot to see the soup, if it's going, and they have all these students standing around looking at these dishes that they're cooking. Okay, one last book. Now this one, the pictures are kind of small, but we'll get through them. This is a picture of the mountainside and the little village, right? You know, look at all, what are they made out of? They're made out of stones. They don't have so many trees that they can make everything out of wood. So they make their houses out of what they have. Oh, I don't know if we can zoom in on this one. You see this picture up here? This is a cable car, and it will take you to the top of the mountain, because up there is the best skiing. So they would get into this cable car and ride to the top of the mountain. One more picture. Oh, here it is. This is the best picture of the Matterhorn that you'll see. And you see it's very triangular shaped. And look up here at the top. It is so steep that there's no snow on it. It's pretty much straight up and down at the top. But this is Switzerland, and I hope you've enjoyed learning a little bit about Switzerland today. Now I'm going to send home the picture, the flag and the person for you to color to put into your book. Thank you, Mrs.